Back with another episode of Taco Imposters. This episode, I thought we could do something a little different, so we're going to do the history of the Sony Corporation. Yeah, I don't know. So I like this kind of informational ones. Like if you want something like stuff you should know. Oh, stuff you should know is the site. Wait, what's it called? It's things you missed or no? Stuff you should know. Okay. That's the kind of podcast I love listening to. See, Sony. So this is according to BizFluent. I don't know how accurate this is, but that's a problem with history and information like this. Unless you were there, unless I was there, I have no idea what information here is correct. And that's the thing. A lot of the information is just like that sounds about right. Like, you know, that sounds right. I don't know, but yeah. So let's go. So from BizFluent, I'll probably go into Wikipedia also, just because I want to see if the information is the same. Because look, Sony is one of the world's most widely known electronic companies. Founded in Japan, the company has grown from humble roots to multinational giant. From the tape player to the Walkman to OLED TVs, Sony's tradition of innovation has made it a profitable company for more than 60 years. Kazuharu, who joined the company in 1984, it's a Japanese name, so Kazuo Hirai, Hirai, who joined the company in 1984 and worked his way up through its media and consumer electronics division, became its president and CEO in 2012. This is an article from 2017, so I don't know even if it will be updated, because that's the thing. Wikipedia would be more up to date, but I don't know if their information would be the same accuracy, right? Sony was founded after World War II in 1946 in Tokyo, under the name Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corp. by Masaru Ibuka and Akio Morita. The company started with less than 2,000 yen. No, sorry, 200,000 yen, sorry. Conversion of that. Oh, there. How many dollars is 200,000 yen? It's about $1,500.
200,000 Japanese yen equals 1,958 United States dollars and 37 cents.
Well, okay. So going based on United States dollars, it's a 1,958 United States dollars and 37 cents. They started with, because here it's about $1,500, but they just round it. You know, they're like, oh, whatever. It's closer to 2,000, and began researching. In less than a year, the company released its first product, a power megaphone. In 1950, it released Japan's first tape recorder. I wonder if you can buy those anywhere. Let's see if there's pictures of it. Do I have eBay on this? No, I don't. Dang it. I have eBay on this, though. I have eBay on this phone. So, yeah. Come on. Sony Power Megaphone. Let's look it up. No, sorry. eBay. I don't know. Let's see. Oh. My phone's going to die here. Oh, one of them's going to die. Oh. Okay. Yes, give me this. Yes, okay. Wait. There. It's probably going to be expensive. Or people are going to try and get lots of money out of it, considering it's Sony's first product. So, if it's even on here at all. Okay. So. Sony.
La porte.
Tu ouvres la porte?
Mais... Sony Power Megaphone. No, wait. No. Megaphone. There you go. Sony Power Megaphone. That's what it was, right? Portable megaphone. See? I hate how this is. That's what it's called, right? Sony Power Megaphone. What's the first product? A power megaphone. Let's look up megaphone then. I mean, not the power part. Megaphone. No, not Live Hop Chainsaw. See, that's a problem. They only come up with megaphone. They don't come up with Sony. Google it then. Wait, go back. I don't know what it looks like.
Tu ouvres la porte de la voiture. Tu ouvres la porte de la voiture.
Sony. Not Sobe. Sony. Mega. Phone. Sony Megaphone, let's see. Shop megaphones on Amazon. No! Sony's first product. No. I can't find it anyway. Let's keep going on this.
Tu ouvres
no,
la
okay, yeah. No, give
porte
me.
de la voiture.
Let's see. Sony Mega. Sony Power Megaphone. It all began with a failed rice cooker. You go into Sony. What? According to this, according to GS Marina, it's a well-known brand. It's beginning around 70 years ago. Around 70 years ago, in 1945, defense contractor Masudo.
La
Is that the
fenêtre.
right thing that I was reading here? Who founded it? Who?
J'ouvre le livre.
Yeah, technician. No, Tokyo Telecommunications Engineer Corporation by Masuda. Let me see. Masuda Ibuka. Is that right? Masuda Ibuka. Where?
Une table
Masuda
blanche.
Ibuka. Okay, that's the right name. Okay. Or Tokyo Telecommunication Research Institute. This was the time when World War II had just ended. Ibaka's firm operated from the third floor of the damaged Shirakaya department store shown below. Although the company mainly focused on radio repair, it also came up with its own product, an electric rice cooker.
Les fenêtres
Made by
de la
interlocking
voiture.
aluminum electrodes. Ooh, let's see. Okay, never mind then. Yeah. So made by interlocking aluminum electrodes connected to the bottom of a wooden tube. The product lacked innovation. And mostly produced either overcooked or undercooked rice. The result depended on the type of rice as well as the quantity of water used. Overall, it was a failed attempt, and the cooker never hit the market. Tape recorder and transmitters. In 1946, Ibuka joined hands with former naval lieutenant Akio Morita to launch a new business Tsushin Kage KK Tokyo Tech Telecommunications Engineering Corporation, also known as Tatsuko, based in Nihonbashi, Tokyo. The firm was started with an initial investment of, how much does it say here? That says 2,000 yen. This says 1,000. That says 200,000 yen. That says 190,000 yen. Around $1,500. It's more like closer to 2,000 now, but like, anyway. And also incorporated because, or no, wait a second. I don't know if it's an IBUKA or LB. I don't think it's lib. I don't think it's lib. I think it's Ibuka radio repair business, along with its entire staff. Totsuko focused on research and manufacture of telecommunications, and the company's first product was a power megaphone that went on sale in October 1947.
La chaise.
It's this thing. Okay, it's Sony. Originally it was spelled SONI.
La pièce. La chaise.
Oh, I don't know if that is the Japanese spelling of it or what, but look, right here. You see, look right here. That's their first product. Their other first product, which was the rice cooker, is this thing. That was a failed rice cooker, and then that was the other, and then this was the
La pièce.
tape.
Il y a un salon dans ma maison.
Power megaphone that went on sale in October 1947. 3 years later, the firm launched Japan's first magnetic-coated paper-based recording tape, dubbed Sony Tape. Oh no, this is it. This is Sony Tape. Okay, so the megaphone thing, I don't know where that is. I didn't even read that. If I kept reading, I would have seen that. But anyway, a few months later, the country's first magnetic tape recorder, the G-Type, was also launched. Interestingly, the device was viewed as a product for government use, hence the G in G-Type. Oh, government type. Okay. That's a lot of things. If you actually look back to a lot of the technology we use today,
Ma maison a 4 pièces.
a lot of it is based, is originally used by, the military. Like, the military used, the computer, the internet was made for the military. And then we just, as consumers, people just, happen to, see, we could use it for our own whatevers. And then by, the 90s, it was ingrained in, everybody had some kind of computer in some way. And it was really easy to use. Well, I don't know if you say easy, but it was, fairly straightforward. I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing, but it was fairly straightforward. And then by I want to say 2002, every single person had the internet. 2002, not every single person, but you know what I mean. It's a wide thing. Anyway, the product didn't sell well initially, primarily because people knew little about tape recorders and how they can be useful. Yeah, that's the other thing too. You have to make what's the word I'm looking for? You have to show people why to buy something. You have to give them a reason.
Ma maison a 4 pièces.
Didn't know, I guess. People back then didn't know.
Maison a
This led to
4
Ipaka and
pièces.
Morita professionally visiting places like government agencies, schools, and universities. Where's it? To market the product and convince people that they need one. Eventually, their efforts bore fruit, and the product sales picked up.
Maison
Also, I guess at that time,
4 pièces.
this is 1946? 47? Sorry, 47? Yeah, about 47, I don't know, maybe 48, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how long they did it before they sold it, but they marketed this before they sold it, but it's a thing where it just wasn't a thing to do that. It was not a thing. Oh, gosh. It was not a thing to record sound on tape. That would only be a real prevalent thing years later. So, and everybody, like, the way everybody can just easily do one. Like, buy a tape from a convenience store, dollar store, whatever, you know, department store.
Les chats blancs.
Put it in and record, you know. You know, granted you had a tape recorder, though. Sorry, not granted. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, as long as you had a tape recorder.
De table et une chaise.
Yeah, with the mic, you know. Anyway. And convince people that they need one. Okay. Eventually, their efforts bore fruit, and the product sales picked up. Yeah. The very next year, Tatsuko launched the P-Type portable tape recorder, which was not only smaller and lighter than the G-Type, but was also less expensive. It was also commercially successful. See, get images of the... This is the P-Type? I'm not sure if this is the P-Type or what. It's one of the two. I don't know if it's the P-Type. I hear this machine here. I don't know if that's the P-Type or what that is. In 1952, Ibuka and Morita learned about transistors developed by Bell Laboratories on their trip to the U.S. They wasted no time in applying for its license, which they obtained in 1953. Given the fact that the transmitters were a smaller, durable, and less expensive alternative to vacuum tubes, which were used in Tatsuko's products till now, what, 3 products? Well, you had the recorder or 2 products. So you had the G-type recorder and the P-type recorder. G for government and P for portable. And were they using the same tape at that point, that time? I don't know. They don't say if they were using the same tape. The company started working on a small radio that could be carried in hand or pocket. I hate when they call things pocket-sized and it barely fits in your pocket. But they're trying to convey small, not necessarily exactly pocket-sized. Right? Meanwhile, with an aim to go global, both Ibuka and Morita decided to have a short brand name that could be easily remembered. They zeroed down on Sony, a mix of the Latin word sonus, which meant sound, and Sonny, S-O-N-N-Y, an American name for boys mostly... Sonny, an American name for boys mostly used in the 50s. This happened in the year 1955. When the company finally released TR-55, the country's first transistor radio, measuring in at just 14 by 8.5 by 8.5. 14 by 8.9 by 3.4 centimeters. The device was an instant hit. So the first transistor... Wait, is this what you're going to say? Transistor radio.
La fleur.
La fleur.
So the first transistor radio was made by Sony? Let me look this up.
Il y a des arbres.
Let's look this up. First trend...
Il ouvre une fenêtre.
Radio. A transistor radio is small. I know what a transistor radio is. I want to know, but the first one. A transistor radio is a small portable radio. Yes, I know.
Ils ouvrent les fenêtres.
Well, according to this, which is on gsmarina.com, right here, when the company finally released the country's first, or the country as in Japan or the countries in America? Wait, where do they go? American, an American name for the device. This happened. The names are global. They don't.
Il y a 3 pièces.
The Sony brand became immensely popular, so much so that the company changed its own name to Sony Corporation in 1958. A couple of years later, the company launched a transistor television and also
Il y a
established
3
trade
fenêtres.
offices in the U.S. and Switzerland. Oh. The early 60s saw the company developing transistor-based products, including the TC777 amp tape recorder, world's smallest and lightest TV dubbed TV 5-303. Country's first stereo amplifier, the TA TA1120, as well as the TC357, a tape recorder featuring automatic recording adjustments. Ooh. In the second half of the decade, Sony launched products like its first cassette tape recorder, the Magazine-Matic 100 TC100. World's first IC radio, the ICR100, as well as a Chromatron type 19-inch color TV, 19C70, a Trinitron color TV dubbed KV 1310. So this Sony TV is the Trinitron, is that what it is? Trinitron Color TV 19C70, I think. Or, no, sorry. No, sorry. That's the KV 1310. Right here, you see? Whoa, is that a focus? There. Yeah, okay. This was also the decade when the Japanese company entered into a 50-50 joint venture with American CBS Inc. The entity would become Sony Music Entertainment in a few decades. Ooh. Oh yeah, I knew that. But I didn't know that they merged with CBS. VCR and Betamax and Walkman. The next decade brought along the cassette age. In 1971, Sony launched a 3/4 inch U-Matic color video cassette player dubbed VP 1100, and in the following year, a U-Matic color video cassette recorder dubbed VO 1700, shown below. Oh, one of the first. What is it? Cassette video cassette players. Look at that. Interesting. The year 1973 saw the company getting an Emmy Award for developing the Trinitron Color TV system. This was the first Emmy ever awarded to a Japanese company. Ooh. Meanwhile, the company was expanding globally. Germany, Spanish, and French subsidiaries were set up in the first few years of the decade. Oh, the 70s, okay. In 75, Sony launched a 1/2-inch Betamax VCR, dubbed SL6300. God, that thing's humongous. Look at how big this is. That's humongous. It's a Betamax machine. Betamax player. Crazy. Created to a limited audience, such as television stations, the SL6300 was aimed directly directly at the consumer market. Oh, while the VCL created Limited audience and such. Okay, I get it. So the VO700 was created to a limited audience, such as the television stations. The SL6300 was aimed directly at the consumer market. Okay. Unsurprisingly, the Japanese company was sued by leading U.S. movie studios over privacy concerns. However, the final judgment was in favor of Sony. Yeah, if I know correctly, the whole lawsuit was like the U.S. movie studios were like, whoa, these guys can record whatever they want. Therefore, if we broadcast something on TV, they are going to be able to take it and watch it. And then the final judgment was in the favor of Sony because they were basically said, the court basically was like, yeah, but it's not their fault if they use it to make recordings. You're not supposed to, but just because you can doesn't mean it's their fault. It's up to the consumer to not do that. We will reprimand the consumer, not the producer, not the maker. Like, we don't care what the maker. It's like saying computers. You can do bad things on a computer. Therefore, we have to sue the computer companies who make them because they don't stop people from doing that. It's like, well, no, that's not how that works. It's not the computer manufacturer's fault, or it's not, Windows. It's not Microsoft's fault if you can use Windows to do nefarious bad things. That's basically what happened with this. Although Betamax video format was successful, Sony failed to establish it as an industry standard. Yeah, that was the other thing. But then that was the other thing, right? They lost. Okay, or they won the whatever it was, lawsuit, right? They won the being sued, right? And then VHS turns around and is able to do the exact same thing. I don't know. See, the movie studios were just like, you can't do that. They can record it all. What the heck? And then distribute it and sell. It's like, well, it's not our fault, basically. We're not liable if somebody does that. Like, it's not our fault if they do it. And then VHS turns around and just makes a product, or not VHS, JVC. Turns around and makes a product that allows you to do the exact same thing. Record off your TV, so. Which is weird because you don't hear the same thing about, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know the history, but I've never heard anything about the cassette tapes, like audio cassette tapes, and how I never heard if they had the same problem where it's like, well, you can record off of I know they've had problems with that in recording, they put protections on them, like, what are those things called? Digital, DRMs, digital rights. That was called DRM. Digital restriction, whatever. What does DRM stand for? No. Digital rights management. Okay, that's what it is. Digital rights management was right. Okay, for like some of the later stuff, like CDs has had them, and stuff like video. No, not video discs. What were they called? They were called. Oh, not video discs. What were they called? Oh, whatever. They were called mini discs for like stuff like, I think it was mini disc anyway. They tried to put different DRMs there, but they couldn't do it on like a tape. Well, they could do it with like permanently making it so you had to have a groove in it or something. But people figured that stuff out really quickly and just went, okay, well, I'll just cut a groove into it. Or something like a cassette tape. You could just put a piece of tape, like, because you're supposed to put, like, I don't know if you know how a cassette tape works. I have a cassette tape right here. I'll just show you quickly. You can see it, but right here is a cassette tape. Okay. Let me just focus this. No, wrong way. I gotta get that up. Let me turn on the. Okay, there. And then light. I need a light. Okay, so right here. You see that right there, So there's that right there. My pinky is. And that depresses something in the tape player, like a button, and it knows that thing right there, the thing with the pinky that I was showing you. Turn it back up. That depresses that depresses something in the tape player, and it knows to record. I wish I had a tape player on hand. I don't. Oh well, but yeah, that depresses something in the tape player to know that it is. But people so for like protection. What do you call it? Record protection. You would then poke these out, and then you would be able to save it forever. Like you keep it. Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, people figure it out really fast. Put a piece of tape. Put a piece of cardboard. Have a piece of cardboard there, and you could essentially just. Oh no! Shit. Camera fell. I should have seen that coming. Wow, okay. It's because this camera's.
C'est la fête.
Sorry, I should have seen that coming. Whoa. Because my camera's on my bed, and my bed is very bouncy, and so the bed's very heavy. So, wow, okay. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. That fell. Because I have a thing of... Well, you know what? I'll show you it now that I have... Now that the thing has already fallen. I have that down there, right? And that's where... I have this down here, and that's where my... tape was sitting. Over there, so... And then I moved in front of the camera, and the camera just fell. Sorry. And so, yeah, so that was the thing. Well, you don't hear about that as bad a problem, though. You don't hear that as a problem really at all for cassette tapes, but for audio cassettes. But yeah, so final judgment. Although standard. Although allowing competitors to develop the VHS video home system format, which was in fact technically superior to Betamax. No, it wasn't. I've always heard Betamax was technically superior to VHS. It's just... What? Gradually, VHS not only overtook Betamax in popularity, but also rendered it obsolete. Let me look this up. Let me make sure that I'm not getting this wrong. I always knew it as... Betamax was superiorly better, was just better. It was better in every way. It was technologically better, superior. It's just some reason. I think it was the marketing. I think it was. I don't know, something about it. They did a better job of like making it more mainstream, widely available. I don't know. Which. Was better. VHS or Betamax? Betamax. Let's see. The videotape format wars was a period of intense competition for format wars. Over format war. The model mainly involving the Betamax, and which one was better though? That's what we say. Just a lot of articles about whatever. So why VHS was better than Betamax. There you go. This is called The Guardian. Okay, from The Guardian. Okay. Jack Schofield wrote this article. Okay. Oh, I should whatever. Read this, and the next time someone tells you that, of course, Betamax was superior to VHS, you can tell them that they are wrong. It's an urban myth. Oh, really? This is not news. The information has always been available to anyone who could be bothered to look. However, it seems to me that the survival of this and many similar notions is not just a matter of techno or arrogance. It shows a failure to understand how technology markets work. Soon after I joined The Guardian in 1985 to launch Computer Guardian, another journalist showed me an article he had written about the IBM PC. I went through an introductory paragraph, step by step, and explained that as a matter of fact, every single point was wrong. Oh well. Well, he said, that doesn't matter. That's what everybody thinks. That and similar experiences as an ordinary reader led me eventually to two conclusions. The first is that a lot of comment is based on a sort of received wisdom and common currency that appears to be picked up from the atmosphere. It certainly isn't based on reality. The second is that almost no journalists and no geeks have ever come across the concept of the whole product, though it was well known to marketing people. Real people may not be aware of it, but the whole product model is an accurate description of the way they buy stuff. What? Let's take a simple example. Digital audio tapes. No, I don't care. That's what it was. That digital audio tapes had copy protect on them, not mini disc. Sorry. Yeah. But there are many other audio tapes. Okay, if you want a better video on this, look up Tech Moan's video on that. They put like a tone in it, right? In a certain part of it. But it was audible in every recording. And so he's just like, nope, we gotta get rid of it, sorry. And it was supposed to not hinder it from being able to copy it. Got someone to compare that with a humble C40 compact cassette, and they found that to be technologically superior, especially for recording music. However, if you consider the whole product, that is vastly inferior for most people most of the time. This is why people still buy millions of cassettes, while that has virtually disappeared from the consumer use. I guess he's trying to make the point of, like, you have to think of things like the whole as, like, it's easy to use, it's cheap, it's readily available, and it's, it doesn't have to be better. It's just those other factors have to be other factors, like, you have to take into consideration other factors like it's easy to use, it's cheap, it's readily available, I have the equipment already, whatever, right? So, yeah, people to this day, I mean, you can, it's very rare, but you can buy cassette tapes depending on where you go. Like, there's a video store near me, or like an electronics store called Madison's near me, and it still sells, mini DVDs. I think it sells compact cassette, and it sells VHS-C tapes and mini DV tapes. So, not VHS though. Go figure. It has VHS-C, but not VHS. Go figure. I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying? This point Oh, yeah. The point is, when someone buys a use and uses a product, the technological aspects are small and often uninteresting part of the decision. When you choose compact cassette, you are also buying into a vast infrastructure of compatibility. See, that's what I'm saying. The other thing is the infrastructure of compatibility in how it has to be something that's easy to use, and there's a whole infrastructure for this. For that, you'd have to switch everything over, and there's not an infrastructure for all this. And I guess at the time when they were coming out with them, everything was on them, and there were lots of different. And then that had nothing. That had like virtually nothing compared to compact cassette. So, but get to the point here. Okay, I get this. Similarly, when someone buys a Wintel PC, they are buying the ability to choose from dozens of models, from hundreds of hardware. Yeah, but they are buying the choice of hundreds of blah blah blah. The marketing team. So where's the VHS part? I remember perambulating Hammersmith doing the Maple Inn run and finding VHS recordings more readily available to rent. Wow, the video shop had 3 walls of VHS movies and only 1 for Betamax. That's the other thing. Nothing came out on Betamax. Like, virtually nothing came out on Betamax either until, like, before they just canned it. I know Star Wars, the Betamax of Star Wars is the best, was for a long time the best version of to watch Star Wars if you wanted the original. If you wanted the most original, clean, no edits, no stupid like special editions and 10th anniversaries and whatever and elite editions and golden editions and silver and whatever. Stupid, no. Yeah, I remember that. Indeed, the main thing that didn't fit was the idea. Was that Betamax was technically superior. Standing in a shop at the time, there was absolutely no visual difference in picture quality, and some reviews had found that VHS quality was superior. That's the other thing. I look at things in like context or the perspective, from the perspective of just someone who will put it on their whatever crappy TV and look at it, right? Not crappy, but like not the absolute best. Like I look at people like My Life in Gaming, and they always do things for like video games, and they look at like, oh, this version, and they show them side by side, right? This version and this version, this version, this version, with different different video qualities. And I look at it and I go, yeah, but who's really gonna notice any difference between this one and that one? The standard version, either the HD version or the upscaled version or whatever, right? And I'm just like, I wouldn't personally. And I'll look at them side by side and sometimes see, what's the difference here? And they'll go, yeah, well, the lines are crisper. The pixels are nicer, they're crisper, they're sharper, the colors are more vibrant. Like, I don't care. Honestly, I really don't care. Because I will not see that on my TV, whatever. And it's the whole thing of, it's too complicated to get to this point, too. If it was like a plug-and-play solution, fine, but no. Like, so, right? Okay. Maybe for something like, I could see a difference for something like, if you play the Wii U, if you play the Wii U, Virtual Console. If you play something like the Wii U Virtual Console, like NES, it's really, really dark. Okay, maybe there you can see a difference. Okay, that and original NES, emulated it and on your computer or the NES Classic or whatever, right? But for most people and most circumstances, I personally don't see a difference. Maybe some people do, but I'm sure most people don't. But anyway, where was I? Yeah. Okay, I guess. Wait, Betamax was received. Whoa, superior. I know Betamax was superior. That was the received wisdom. But at the time, and maybe it was, even at the time, but maybe it was in a lab. But I wasn't buying a lab testing rig. That's the other thing. It's always like on the best TV, with the best player, with the best Betamax, with the best. That's the thing. It's like the video Tecmon made, right? He made a video called something like, can you get CD quality out of a audio cassette, or like audio cassette better than you remember, something like that, or CD quality, whatever. He just makes an observation. He poses the question: can you get CD quality out of a VHS tape? Not VHS tape. Out of a audio cassette tape, and yeah, you can, but you have to have the best setup, the best what do you call it? Stereo system, like sound system, with chrome tapes, with metal tapes, with Dolby, with everything, and record it perfectly. Like, that's not what's going to happen. It's just not. I'm sorry. It is just not the reality. That is not like a very practical thing. It's not real world. What I'm trying to say here. So yeah. So what was it? Yeah. See, lab. But I wasn't buying a lab testing rig. In terms of the whole product, VHS was clearly superior. So that's the way I went, along with everybody else. Later, I found out that Betamax had owned the market, but lost it because Sony got one simple decision wrong. It chose to make smaller, neater tapes that lasted for an hour, whereas the VHS manufacturers used basically the same technology with a bulkier tape that lasted 2 hours. Instead of poring over the sound and picture quality, reviewers could simply have taken the system home. Their spouse, children, grandparents, and everybody else who would quickly have told them the truth. We're going out tonight, and I want to record a movie. That Betamax tape is useless. It isn't long enough. Get rid of it. Betamax was the first successful consumer video format, and at one time it had close to 100% of the market. All the video machines in use and all of the pre-recorded movies were Betamax. At one point, yeah, but that was never very long, from what I know, from what I've heard. It had a de facto monopoly and an element of lock-in because of tape incompatibility. It lost because at the time it could not do what consumers wanted: record a whole movie unattended. Oh yeah, and although beta playing times were extended, they never caught up with VHS. That's the other thing. It's set up like it just didn't do what they wanted to do, to record either multiple programs or just a whole movie. Because movies were like 90 minutes, like an hour and a half. They're an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm sure some things you can record on a Betamax, but it's just, if you can record everything on a VHS, just get the one system. Don't have Betamax be like, oh, I need Betamax. Or Betamax are good for this, but then when I want to go for more, I go for... See, it's not like today where there's so many options to record and so many options to do this and that and the other thing, that people just, okay, I have this, so for this circumstance it works, but then this one I'll use something else. No, back in the day, you had to actually choose, okay, what am I going to use? Because what works for what I need. I wanted to record a movie, unattended, a full movie unattended, so I don't have to worry about it. It was the VHS that won because it did what consumers wanted. Okay, cool. Other elements of the often reported Betamax story was also wrong. For example, while Sony was certainly slow to bring in other manufacturers, it had tried to license it to rivals such as JVC before VHS was launched. Betamax was not generally more expensive. Sony had to slash its original price, but generally it was competitive. Indeed, after it had lost the market, Betamax machines were often cheaper than VHS ones. And at the beginning, there was no comparative shortage of Betamax movies to rent. Actually, they were all Betamax. Stan Leibowitz, professor and associate dean at the School of Management of the University of Texas at Dallas, has done most research on this, but see urbanlegends.com for a quick guide. Even if Betamax had been technically superior, it wouldn't have mattered. VHS users have long had the chance to upgrade to the compatible VHS, Super VHS format with superior picture quality. But rather than demanding better picture for today's TV sets, consumers have shown more interest in LP long play modes that reduce the picture quality to provide longer recording times. Yeah, that's what I found a lot too. I mean, nowadays you can get, full movies in 4K, 8K probably. Stuff, right? 4K, 6K, 8K, right? And so, I mean, not that that's gonna be cheap, but you can do it. But for consumers, most people still, even to this day, they still are like, I don't care if it looks a little bit worse. Like, it looks like, or even like superiorly worse, not superiorly, so what I'm looking for, looks considerably worse. If he records what I need to record for a long time, I'm fine. Like me, I'm like that. I'm like, I don't care if it looks considerably worse, as long as it records it and you can see it fairly well. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to record my podcast on an 8mm film, black and white film, on the cheapest, crappiest black and white 8mm camera, or 16mm camera. But I don't need a $45,000 red camera, right? Modes, reduce picture, longer play. VHS won because the whole product did what people wanted at a price they were willing to pay. And when people use the VHS versus beta analogy, they are not indicating a market failure, but their own ignorance. As 2020 begins, we're asking readers like you to mark the new year, contributing to support independent journalism. This has been a turbulent decade. No, okay. So yeah, when was this posted? 2003. Okay, Saturday, Saturday, the 25th of January, 2003 at 12:35 GMT. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to VHS or this one here. Although Betamax format was successful, Sony failed to establish its industry standard. Oh yeah, got about it. Okay, soon after Sony launched its first tape recorder in 1950, the company hired Norio Hoga, an opera student at the Academy of Art in Tokyo, who had suggested several improvements in the product. In the late 70s, on co-founder Masaru Ibuka's desire to listen to music on a device more portable than the company's existing TCD5 cassette player. Oga, who was the company's executive deputy president then, started working on a compact player, a cassette tape. Wait, did Sony have the compact cassette tape? Who made the first compact cassette? That's a good question. I want to see. Who made the compact cassette? Not how, who? Who made the compact cassette? tape. The cassette tape or mess. No. History. There you go. We'll go to history of it through Wikipedia just quickly. Who created the compact cassette? See, I don't want to do a lot of research. I just want to do the one that we know of. So, right? So I got to go all the way to like. Here we go. Here we go. Sony developed double layer ferrochrome tapes. No, who originally did though? TDK. Well, who's the first person? Scotch brand, high energy, could make ordinary cassette obsolete. What? Who made it? Originally made the radio compact cassette. The compact cassette format immediately up for the fairly market recording. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. They don't say who made it. First cassette marketed for hi-fi market. No, but just saying for hi-fi. Whatever. I'll take it as, I don't know. Doesn't say. The year 1979 saw the company launch the TPS L2, the first model of the first generation Walkman personal stereo system. Right here. This thing right here. That's the first compact cassette player. Or cassette tape player. Or audio cassette player. Whatever you want to call it. First generation Walkman personal stereo. The product which included headphones and a leather case, as well as a second headphone jack. That's something when I heard about that, because I didn't have one of these Walkmans as a kid. I had the sport one, the yellow industrial sport one. The one that looks like a construction yellow, you know, the ones that are on like cats and stuff. I had that one. And I did not have the original headphone. Well, I never used the original headphones. Maybe I had them somewhere. The big, bulky, like, square-looking things like here, and then they have the gray gray foam padding. Anyway, I think it was gray anyway. Maybe it was black. I don't know. Anyway, and I didn't have those. But I do remember using the cassette tape as a kid. That exact cassette player, the Walkman, it had a radio, integrated radio, had a radio in it too. Remember that? And then I remember after that just using really crappy, like, whatever brand of tape recorders and using tapes and stuff. Like kids, those big ones with microphones on the side, tape players, I remember using those. I remember Fisher Price and like stuff like that. And then I remember using crappy, almost dollar store quality, how bad some of them were. Some of them were just awful. And they'd break on me. I think I broke like 2. I had so many of them. Anyway, yeah. So when I was researching all this kind of stuff, I was like, whoa, they have 2 headphone jacks? Crazy. You don't need some adapter. You just need 2 headphone jacks. I mean, granted, we don't have headphone jacks on lots of stuff, period, now. But now if you do have a headphone jack, you need a splitter, and splits it into 2. And it allows you to listen to 2. Like, it allows you to listen to 2 people to listen to it, sorry. Which to me is like, okay. I didn't use it a lot as a kid, but when I did, it was very useful. Right? But that would have allowed 2 people to listen to it at the same time. That was like, they just implemented it? That was just a native thing. Wow, okay. I thought that was really a smart idea. Yeah, no second for that. Because became a roaring success. It's worth mentioning that the device was launched as the sound about in the US and the stowaway in the UK, but Sony later settled for the brand name Walkman. Oh, really? That true? I don't know. Well, it's worth mentioning, but but yeah. The term became so popular that it was even included in Oxford Dictionary in 1986. CD players, Handycam, and Columbia Pictures acquisition. Sony bought Columbia Pictures? I guess so. In 1982, Sony launched the world's first compact disc player. Oh, a compact disc player in Japan, dubbed the CDP-101. The $1,000 device. In what, 82? What is $1,000 from 1982 in today's dollar?
Voici les premiers résultats de Wikipédia.
Non, you président that je suis dans le premier résultat. No, give me. That's right. Can I open a new tab? I have 26 tabs open. Holy crow. I did not know that. Okay, there we go. We'll go like this, we'll go like this, we'll go like this, we'll go like this, we'll go like... What if I load... Oh, yeah. Inflation calculator. I need an inflation calculator. So, inflation calculator, there you go. Inflation calculator, come on, hurry up. Inflation calculator, okay. Wow. Yes, I know. 1982? Is that what it was? 1982? Yeah. 82, 2020. Enter my price, $1,000 bucks. 1, 2, 3. $8,000. Calculate. That item would cost $2,672. Well, US, I think. So in Canada, that'd be even more. That'd be like 3,000, 2,800, something like that. Close to $3,000. Good gosh. I think, right? US annual inflation pops, dude. Gosh. The US inflation, okay. US inflation calculator, okay. Anyway. Got the jump there, for the cut there. I ran it a page. So. Yeah, because I'm running on a DVD, so. We're back with, where was I? Tony? In the same year, the company also launched the BW1, a half-inch beta cam integrated camera, VTR, for analog-based professional broadcasting use. Apparently, I heard though that camera was absolutely terrible. Video on Betamax. Betacam. It's absolutely. Oh, it's not a bad camera. It's just. It's not as easy to use now if you want to be like, oh, I want to have old cool camera. No. It's not as easy. Like, it's not as easy as everything's pulled out of it. A lot of VHS cameras. You know them like you guys don't know. You just kind of just got a little line on it. Honestly. But at least I have one now. Because all the ones that I saw were really expensive. Everybody wanted like $100, $200. Like, what? Okay. Following year, so the company is split 5 divisions: marketing and sales, manufacturing and services, engineering and diversified operations. In 1984, Sony launched the world's first portable CD player, dubbed D50. The device, which was approximately the size of 4 CD cases, was later called Discman. So originally it was called the D50. Thing right here. Apparently that's the first portable CD player. So, 1984 was also the year when when the Japanese company bought the rights to use Apple's hard disk technology and moved a move that effectively allowed Sony to capture nearly 1/5 of the Japanese market for workstations and PCs used in office. The company also started manufacturing and marketing electrical components for each company that year. For other companies that year. Something it had never done before. The following year, an 8mm camcorder dubbed CCD V8 was launched, weighing in at 1.98 kilograms. 1.9 mass. No. Oh wait, where's that from? That's how big? Sorry. No. Calculator. From this kilogram to pound. 1.97. It's 4.3 pounds. 4.34 pounds. 4 pounds. Not too bad. 4 pounds is not too bad. In comparison to the camera that I'm using right now, that thing is like at least 5, but it feels like it could be freaking 10 pounds. It's so heavy. It's crazy. It's crazy heavy. But anyway, it was the world's first video camcorder of its time. That's the camcorder of its time. The video camcorder but I referred to it as the impact spot. Thank you. Marquez Brown and did a whole thing on first. What was it? That first quarter was like. Oh, what's it called? What's it called? What? JBC R16 camcorder was the first all-in-one handheld camcorder. Okay, yeah. But yeah. Whatever. First, no, because that one was the HSC. In the later half of the decade, Sony launched the MVC T1, a consumer-user still camera that was marketed as an electronic camera for the PDA. It offered features like auto, strobe, burst, successor, shooting timer function, and TV screen display. In the year 1989, the TR-55 was launched, nicknamed Handyman. The device, this is 20%. The device was a compact, lightweight, A4 size, 8mm camera. Sorry, but in what world is your passport this big? Like, look, it might not look big in scale, but that's probably the size of my VHS. It's probably like that this big, probably. Whoa. Probably about, I don't know, this big. So like, so what? No. Where what passport looks like this. Mine's not that big. This was the first, what was it? Of launch. This one, 2029. This was also the year when Sony purchased American film company Columbia Pictures. What year is this? 89. Columbia Pictures for $3.3 billion in cash. This was the first this was the largest U.S. acquisition by a Japanese firm. To that date. Years later, the entity was renamed Sony Pictures Entertainment. Wait, Columbia? Columbia Pictures, Sony Pictures Entertainment. Ow. Dang. PlayStation library, shot and video. Video, trial in early 1990s. The early 1990s brought tough time for Sony as majority of the world's largest economies, including the U.S., Japan, and Europe, experienced a slowdown. Oga, who had become Sony's CEO by then, along with Morita, tried to steer the company out of this situation, but couldn't succeed completely. Net income decreased 50% for 1994. Meanwhile, the KW 3600HD and HD equipped 16:9 widescreen aspect ratio 36-inch consumer US television launched in 1990, and Sony Computer Entertainment was established in 1993. Sony Entertainment, the Japanese gaming market. Sony Entertainment, the Japanese gaming market the following year introduced the PlayStation, the 32-bit PlayStation. The console, which landed in the US a year later, was a huge success. Yeah, see, I think the reason the PlayStation was a big success, now I'm sure at the time, and people are great, but the reason I think we still see PlayStation as like a good system, I mean, we still think it's not great, right? But we still see it. We almost give it a pass when we do like it's bad, because we give it some slack. We like give it a pass because because they were because with Nintendo they were coming from 16-bit and they went to 32-bit, 64-bit, and they're just like this is awful. In 3D, the graphics don't hold up well. The PlayStation, on the other hand, is 32-bit. Wow, I know that. I thought it was 64-bit at least. No, it's not. Anyway, was because it was the first thing that they had done. So they're like, give it a pass. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah, well, not necessarily they don't know what they're doing, but like, that's the first thing they're making. We're giving them a pass. You know? With Nintendo, it was more like, come on, people. Really, it's this bad? And don't get me wrong. There were terrible games on the PlayStation that looked awful and were disgusting, and other people were just like, no, this is bad at the time. I don't know. I wasn't around then, so don't ask me, but I'm just saying. I'm sure it was, you know? They were like that. The year 1995 saw Sony's first consumer use digital camcorder, the DVR VX100 Flash DVR VX7000, aka digital handycam. In addition, basic specifications of the DVD formats were finalized this year, and Sony Communications Network Corporation was also established in 1995. The following year, Sony launched its digital still camera CyberShot DSCF1, shown below. This one. That's the CyberShot. 1997 was an important year in the Sony history, as it saw the launch of the company's home use PC, VAIO series, the flat CRT Weka series, as well as the world's first broadcast targeted HD camcorder, HDW 700, and its first DVD player, named this year. Towards the end of the decade in 1999, the Japanese company launched the ERS-110, the first generation model of the Aibo, four-legged autonomous entertainment robot, which could not only express but also learn emotions. So it had like AI? Is that what's happening? A little bit? I don't know. I think I've seen that dog. I'm not sure. So yeah. It's kind of like Furby, I guess. How they can learn from you. Well, kind of. I don't know. Furbies are a little different, I think, because they can only they don't actually. I don't know. I have no idea. Don't actually. Unfortunately, this year was also the year when co-founder Morita passed away. Change in focus. With the advent of the 2000s, Sony changed its strategy a bit and started focusing on digital and gaming markets. On the digital and gaming market, as well as engineering networks such as broadband, wireless, and home. In the year 2000, the Japanese company launched the sequel to its original PlayStation gaming console, dubbed PlayStation 2. The product was more of a home entertainment center, as it could play audio, CDs, and DVD movies, as well connected to the internet. The console was highly successful. Some other milestones that Sony achieved in this decade: launch of the personal IT television airboard, IDTLFI in 2001. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 was so popular It's I think the best-selling video game system of all time, or is it the DS? I think it might be the DS. I always forget whether it's where is it now? Okay, best selling game consoles was no, the best selling game console was the DS. Here's the list. Best selling game consoles. The DS. Oh, PlayStation 2, then DS. The PlayStation 2 sold how many units? 155 million. The DS sold 154 million. That's 554. So not far off. Then the Game Boy. Yeah. And the worst on this list is the Atari 5200 selling only 1 million. Well, they're tied with things like the Telstar, Philips CDI, Atari Lynx. So they're all one. Okay. Where's the 80 million one? Where's the PSP? See, sold 82 million. So, not bad. What were these? Yeah. Now the next one. Development of the world's largest 13-inch full-color organic EL display and establishment of Sony Ericsson Mobile Communications in 2001. Okay. Launching of the world's first Blu-ray recorder, BDZ S77 in 2003. Establishment of Sony's BMG Music Entertainment and development of world's first mercury-free button-shaped silver oxide battery in the year 2004. Launch of Bravia brand HD TV, compatible flat screen TVs. Launch of the world's first Blu-ray disc drive, notebook PC, Vizio Type A, as well as PlayStation 3 in terms of, oh gosh. The PlayStation 3 was just a failure, but it was a big failure because it was so expensive. Nobody wanted to pay $600 and some odd dollars for one. They were like, "Are you crazy? Are you absolutely out of your mind?" But apparently, they actually lost money on the PlayStation 3 because apparently it cost like $800 to make. Crazy. Well, the whole thing that I heard was video game companies lose money on the system, make money back on the games. Like always. That's what I don't know if how true that is. I heard it from CU podcast. I think Pat said that or both. You said both of them. Yeah. Development of bio battery that generated electricity from glucose, and launch of world's first OLED TV in 2007. Yeah, but did people have them in 2007? No, they didn't. OLED? No. OLED. I only heard OLED like recently, as in like the last like 5 years. So this is 2007. So that's gosh. Launch of world's smallest full HD handicap HDR TG 1 in 2008. Development of finger vein authentication technology dubbed Morpherea, and unveiling a new brand message make.believe into launch of Cybershot and NEX series still cameras, as well as Sony Internet TV in 2010. Introduced its Xperia line of tablets in 2011. Launch of PlayStation 4 in 2015. So that's notable things in 2010. 2010. As noted in the milestones above, the entity Sony Ericsson Mobile Communications was established in the year 2001. Clear from its name, the company was a joint venture formed by the Japanese company and Swedish-based Ericsson, with an aim to manufacture top-quality multimedia mobile phones. Here are some of the company's handsets that deserve a mention. The first handset that Sony Ericsson outed was a T68i based on Ericsson's already released T68 mobile phone. The device's features included color display, a built-in email client, Bluetooth, GPRS, as well as two-way MMS, among others. Should look like this. Like that. So and then the other phones, wait. The $650 T68i, which came with a joystick for navigation, also featured in the James Bond film Die Another Day. Oh, in the year 2003, Sony Ericsson came up with the T610, 610, sporting a new premium design and a 665,000 color display with 128 by 128 by 160 pixel resolution. With devices, the device could also take 288 by 352 pixel resolution pictures. They look like this. It garnered praise from both critics as well as end users, and was one of the company's most successful handsets. I feel like I saw people using it. Yeah, I think I knew somebody who had one of these, maybe. It wasn't very close, but I think I knew it. You know? It garnered the 2000 and the year 2005 saw the launch of the K750i mobile phone, which sported a 2 megapixel rear camera with autofocus. It also had an MP3 player and expandable storage. Ooh, how did you expand it with the SD card? Also the year when Sony Ericsson launched the W800, its first Walkman series phone. Oh, I remember something like this. I don't know if it was exactly this phone. It's this right here. It's this right here. No, sorry, let me see. that logo? That logo had like right. That logo was on a lot of phones. Well, it was on a couple, I think. I don't know exactly because I don't know the history of Walkman phones. I don't even know if they were popular. And I knew at least one person who had it though. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I remember at least one person who had it. And I don't remember if he was a kid or an adult. Maybe I think he was an adult, honestly. It also featured flight mode, Bluetooth. Flight mode is in like airplane mode. Bluetooth version 1.2 with full Bluetooth 2.0 compliance. Infrared and USB connectivity. In 2006, the K800 was launched. It was the company's first CyberShot brand mobile phone. So this was like more geared towards like the pictures. Oh, we're trying to promote picture part. Okay. It was The handset sported a 3.2 megapixel camera with autofocus and macro mode, and offered 32 times digital zoom and red eye reduction. See right here. Yeah. Because that was the thing back in the day, right? Well, if you had a camera on a phone, you were like, whoa, you have a camera on your phone? Whoa, what? Now we take it for granted because we're like, oh yeah, every single phone has a camera, and like if it doesn't do camera well, forget it. It's because a lot of people see that as that's the selling point. That's the deal breaker. Oh, your camera sucks? Well, bye. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not buying that. So, I'm not gonna take a look. It also featured the best pick functionality that allowed users to take 9 successive images of the same subject in full resolution to choose the best shot. Oh, so kind of like what do you call those things? Burst shots. Now, on the iPhone and stuff. The year 2007 saw Apple launching the first generation iPhone. Yeah. Like many other mobile companies, Sony Ericsson failed to quickly respond to threat of the Cupertino-based company's first handset, which brought along the touchscreen craze. Yeah. Like Nokia, Sony Ericsson first went ahead with Symbian, its P series phones, but then ditched it in favor of Android and Windows mobile platforms, citing lack of demand in the market. While the company debuted its Xperia series in 2008, the Xperia 10X, shown below, saw its first Android phone launched in the year 2010. All previous models of the series ran Windows Phone OS. Yeah, see, that's not the same thing as the Windows, that we know, like Windows Phone. I think it's slightly different, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've looked up. So, this was followed by the launch of devices like the Xperia M10 Mini, Xperia M10 Mini, Xperia M10 Mini Pro, Xperia M10 Mini, Xperia Arc, Xperia Play, shown below, and Xperia Ray. Now, the Xperia Play was a cool idea. I remember hearing about it later after the fact and going, I would have loved this. Like a year later or 2 years later. I'm like, this is great. I mean, I didn't have a phone at the time, and I didn't have any reason to have a phone. I was like 11 or 12. So therefore I was just like, I don't need one. But yeah. Because this thing kind of looks like a PSP, right? And that's kind of, and it's no, it's not before the PSP. What the heck? They're not talking about the PSP at all. I don't care about phones. You give me so many phones. That's where it ends. Conclusion: like many other companies, Sony has had its share of hiccups. I missed something, didn't I? I have to have missed something somewhere. Come on. You talk about the PS1, the PS2, and the PS3, but not the PSP or the Vita. What? That came out in 2006. The PSP came out in 2006. Nothing. Nothing about. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. Let's conclude it here, and then I'll talk about the PSP myself. Like many other companies, Sony has had its share of hiccups. Last year, the company sold off its struggling VO. Well, what years? What years is this article from? Right? It's 2015, so 2014 is what we talked about, okay? So in 2014, Eagle Computer Division and spun off its failing Bravio TV business. There have even been reports of the company considering selling its mobile phone unit. And who could forget last year's hack of Sony Pictures Entertainment and the subsequent trouble related to the release of the film. Oh yeah, right. The interview had a big problem because it was like, yeah, the interview had a problem because North Korea was like, "Don't you dare!" And I mean, "Don't you?" Because the interview was a movie about guys trying to kill the leader of North Korea. And so North Korea was like, "Whoa, no." It still came out in certain places. They showed it. They're like, "I don't care." I know no theater near me showed it, but the Dollar Cinema near me showed it. Because Dollar Cinema basically like wait a few months and they get to show like 2, 3, maybe 6, between like 3 and 6 months later, they'll show you a movie for $1, or really it's like $2 for a movie, but all what do you call it? Concessions are $1. Anyway, it's great, or vice versa. Movies are $1 and all concessions are $2. Whatever. No. Anyway, but isn't all this part of the game? Every company goes through rough phases, and Sony is no exception. However, that really matters what really matters is learning from your own mistakes and adapting to the changing times, which we hope Sony will continue doing. See, look, okay, let's go to the PS. Talk about the PSP, because here, please. See the PSP. Where is the PSP? The PSP, I didn't have one as a kid. I always liked it. I never really had an inclination to want one though. PSP was a just want to know what year. 2005, okay. And the DS came out 2006, is that what it was? Oh, the 4. Oh, they just came before the PSP. Oh. Really? No, a year before the PSP. Or about a year, I don't know. Anyway. And the PSP was so ahead of its time. Look, I have a PSP. I got one, not last year for Christmas, the year before for Christmas. So not 2016. Sorry, 2019, 2018 for Christmas. See right here, I have a PSP. What? The LCD screen. Yeah, and it was so ahead of its time because because at the time, kids did not have, well, at least not where I was, kids did not have phones. So for a lot of kids, the first introduction to this was like the PSP. You know, first introduction to things like cameras. Well, I don't know actually if that was very popular, to be honest with you. This camera I bought third party. It's Sony brand. It's the something. No, this is the PSP. I don't remember what it's called. PSP camera. me look up what PSP camera. PSP cam. GoCam. The PSP one was called the GoCam. Anyway, but it was first introduction to like MP3 players, movie players. You could do podcasts with it. You could do comic books with it. You could do a lot of stuff with PSP. It was like because Nintendo did the same kind of thing, but they took like 5 more years. Theirs came out in like 2000 and let me look at the DSi release date. DSi. Let's see, DSi release date. DSi came in 2008? Oh, I didn't know that. So I think that, it was 2 years. But that was only camera. I mean, it had internet too, but... Oh yeah, and so did the PSP. PSP also had internet, right. But... Oh, and also, if you had the 2000 or 2000 model, you can connect it to a TV, too. So, anyway. But the DSi, 2008, so that was 2004, so 4 years later, so 3 years later. Took them at least 3 years to get... I thought it was longer than that. I thought they came out in 2000 and, like, at least 2010. But then I realized the 3DS came out in 2011, so... Anyway. That was a weird system, I'm sorry. I did not like it as a kid. I was like, this is the stupidest thing. What the heck? Now, I'm not saying it's awful, but it's just dumb in terms of... Huh? What? What? But... I don't get it. Anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, so... And then... Yeah, it did all those things. It did... You know, and then the 3DS comes out and, you know, Nintendo does it. Well, that doesn't do nearly as much, though. It doesn't have a movie thing, video player. It doesn't have a... Anyway, I could talk about that kind of stuff forever, so... Yeah, then the Vita came out when? And the Vita was a flop. Well, the PlayStation Portable wasn't necessarily a huge flop. It sold 80 million units. That's still pretty good. I think that's still pretty good. But I didn't close the door of that. Oh, no. It must be a side of the... I'm not... Anyway. Yeah. This Vita... Release date. I think it was 2000 and... It is 2000. Okay. That was 2004, 2011. Yeah. Yeah. Because Nintendo was good at making medium, like middle, like between systems. So like the Game Boy had a Game Boy Color and then Game Boy Advance. The DS had the DS, the DSi, then the 3DS, but with PlayStation, like, they only had 2, so. And do I think, and that's the thing, I don't know if they're gonna make a new system. I don't know, I feel like that's not where the market is for video games. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, I'm just saying, or wouldn't, you know, like, sell, but I'm just like, I don't know, I personally don't think that's where the market is. I think if you want to make video games portably, you either go with something like the Switch, right? Or just go on a phone. If you're Sony, what's the point of making a new thing when you could just sell an app on a phone? Make it really, 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 really nice, really high quality, but just sell it on a phone. Anyway, and then if you go to something like Microsoft, they never made a single handheld. No, at least not that I know of. Maybe they had like some weird like. They were partnered with some people. They had, you know, did some stuff with some people way back in the day, and they're actually connected with whatever. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So, I think that'll be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.